Hello, welcome to day 3 of I haven't decided what to call this yet. My name is Nora, and last time we left off at middle school, winding down, and me trying to figure out my place in the world and discovering that I'm a budding homosexual and not being thrilled about that. So I had decided over summer that I had a few goals that I wanted to accomplish. And one was I wanted to kind of up my style game and look a little more trendy, fit in a little bit better. And the other was that I wanted to kiss a boy before I started high school. So those are my goals. And I enlisted my friend Megan from across the street. We had not gone to elementary school or middle school together, but since there's only one high school in San Pedro, we were going to be at the same high school and in school together for the first time. And so she was a little bit cooler than me, and so I was like, "Can you take me clothing shopping?" And she did. And we went to a store up on Western somewhere that is probably like the modern, or it's like the equivalent of Forever 21 type store nowadays. And we picked out some outfits. I had her like help dress me, and of course I'm getting like, tight fitting, like kind of hoochie clothes and whatever kind of pants, and just looking, trying to look hip. And I was okay. I was kind of excited about that. I was like, okay, now I have a new chance. I'm starting over. I'm starting fresh. I can be heterosexual and I can be cool and trendy and I can fit in. I can be one of the cool kids. So I've got the clothes now. I just need to get the kiss in. And over the summer, we would have a lot of bonfires down on the beach, down at Cabrillo Beach. And I don't know if you're still allowed to do that anymore, but it was bonfires, hanging out, drinking, whatever. And I don't remember the exact circumstances that led up to this, but somehow at one of these bonfires, ended up like in the back, like the way back of someone's car with these two other guys. I can't even remember their names. I think maybe one of them was Sean. I can't remember. And I was chewing some Icebreakers gum, and we were hanging out, and we had been drinking, and I don't know exactly what happened, but somehow I like asked one of them to make out, and they made out with me, and then I immediately went and like made out with the other one as well. So these two young guys, and I don't remember much about that kiss. I don't remember being particularly like, oh wow, like starry eyed. I do remember that the Icebreaker's gum, like dissolved in my mouth during this was happening. And it grossed me out so much that I couldn't eat that kind of gum ever again. Like I was turned off to that kind of gum forever. But so I had accomplished most of my goals. I'd gotten kissed by not one, but two boys. And I had a new outfit, and I was ready to start my new identity. And this is going to be it. This was going to be my time. And I was super stoked. And so, come high school, 1996, I started high school. And we were the first graduating class of 2000. So, we were going to graduate high school in the year 2000. And that was a huge, huge deal from the time we started elementary school. Everybody was talking about how we were going to be the first graduating class of the new millennium. And we even had a song in elementary school, which I will now sing for you. It's "We are the smoke-free class of 2000, 2000. Everyone's a hero, healthy lungs, healthy heart. We don't have to stop because we'll never start." So yeah, so on top of Dare, we also had the pressures of being the smoke-free class of 2000, which whatever. So I start high school 1996. On the very first day of high school, I remember sitting like in the front of the school, and my brother had given me some advice before starting school, and I don't remember what any of it was other than one of them was to stay away from the goths, stay away from the gothic kids. And I was like, okay. And in comes walking like through the front gate this absolutely stunning girl in full gothic regalia. I mean, like black dress. I don't know if she had on that, but like white face makeup, dark eyeshadow with like little eyeliner things on the side of her face. And I saw her, and it was like it might have as well been like a cartoon where like my eyes were like woo, bulging out of my head, like stars shooting out from my eyes. And I just thought she was the most beautiful girl I had ever seen. And internally, I was like, oh, fuck. Like, it's happening again. Why is this happening again? I'm here to be straight. And in walks Brenda, the goth that I was warned to stay away from. And my heart is immediately in love. And so that happened. And I just sort of was like, what am I going to do with this information? And then later, the same day, first day of high school, I'm standing in senior quad, which was this little area, with a couple friends. And someone comes up to me and they go, excuse me, what's your sexual orientation? And I was like, what? Why are you asking me that? And internally, I'm panicking because I'm like, did I do something? Did people like see me checking out Brenda? How do they know I'm gay? How do they know I'm gay? I'm trying to be straight. What the fuck is happening here? And like a few minutes later, someone else came up to me and they said, are you related to Karen McKay? And I was like, no. And I don't remember kind of what happened after that, but a few more people came up to me and were asking me questions. And it turns out that there was a girl named Karen McKay who's apparently my doppelganger, right? Apparently we looked very similar, and she was a year ahead of me, and she had moved to Florida and so was no longer attending San Pedro High School. She also happened to be queer, and her girlfriend was, or ex-girlfriend or whatever, still went to San Pedro High School. And I'm going to call her Ray. And Ray saw me and set her sights on me. So I was a freshman, Ray was a senior, and Ray was, I guess for no reason other than that I looked like her ex-girlfriend, had decided that she was going to make me her girlfriend. And I didn't really know what to make of that because, as I mentioned, I had really intentionally planned to start high school and be straight and start over. And I didn't even get one day of pretending I was heterosexual before, one, I found someone that I was immediately head over heels for. And two, I'm being pursued by this older, queer person. And so the good thing about this was that Karen McKay, my doppelganger, was in with the goths. And I wanted to get in with the goths because Brenda was goth. And I wanted to be around her. So I was able to sort of insert myself with them, and I had to ditch all of my wannabe trendy clothes, which really didn't look that good on me anyways, I imagine. And my parents would not let me leave the house in anything that was socially unacceptable. So while my friends were doing hardcore early, I guess mid-90s gothic, face makeup, the clothing, all of it, or punk, which would be the hairstyle and the Clash or whatever t-shirts, and then they would make something, we called them bondage pants. I don't know if people still have these, but it's you take a pair of pants and you sew zippers and clips and buckles onto it, and you put buckles in the back, and then you take up straps and you cross the straps from one leg to the other so it makes an X. And that's why they're called bondage pants, because your legs are bonded to each other. And I wasn't allowed to wear any of that kind of stuff, so the best I could do was oversized t-shirts and Dickies. And so that became my uniform, was whatever large baggy shirt and some baggy Dickies, and that was what I was allowed to leave the house in. And so I started to make these friends, and Ray continued to pursue me, and I don't remember exactly how we ended up getting together. What I do remember is that every year, me and my dad and my brother would throw a huge Halloween party at my house. It was our favorite holiday. My dad loved to get the house all decorated, and we'd have all of our friends and neighbors come over. This was the one day of the year that I cleaned my room. I would take out 8 large trash bags of trash so that my floor was visible again because I was having friends over. And I remember it was the Halloween party at my house. So I guess so. She started school in September, so this would be October. So it was about 2 months after school started, or a month and a half after school started. And I was aware that Ray was into me. And I was standing in the doorway to my bedroom, and there were some people in my room, and I was talking to them, and she was standing right behind me. And what I remember is she took her finger and just lightly kind of stroked the small of my back. And in my body, it felt like electric. Like every nerve in my body was tingling. And it was, nobody saw what she was doing. I was the only person that like knew this was happening. So it was this very like intense, secretive, intimate moment. And that was when I knew I was totally fucked. And so, yeah. So there was no turning back at that point. I could no longer deny my desire for women. And we started dating in secret. And I think that for now, that's where I'm going to stop today. And we will get into what that relationship looked like, how that evolved, and some of the other fun high school stuff next time. So, thanks for joining. I hope you guys are having a lovely day. And God willing, we'll see you tomorrow.